I don't normally like to do this, but they released some power rankings, and we have to discuss them because the Los Angeles Lakers were put at number 3 in the NBA on the power rankings. The Bucks did win the championship, but you can't tell me that Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and the rest of the Lakers should not be ahead of the Bucks on this power rankings, Mr. Rose.
So initially when you said third, I wasn't necessarily mad at it. And then I thought about why, and it totally makes sense. I want to remind you something.
Okay.
There's a valedictorian walking the face of the earth representing the king of the court in the NBA. You know what his name is? Giannis, the Greek freak, Antetokounmpo. You saw what he just did in the finals?
Yes, I
did.
did.
You see what he just did in the finals?
Yes, I did.
You saw Chris Middleton make a name for himself as a closer? You see Drew Holiday getting steals and locking down on D? You know they play in the Eastern Conference also, right? Which means 50 of their games are going to be against Eastern Conference foes. So therefore, they're number 2 because they're going to have a better regular season record than today your Los Angeles Lakers. Now, for the Nets, they right where they should be. The Bucks are as well. And don't be so upset about the Lakers not being 1 or 2. You just want them healthy at their Western Conference 3 seed or so when the playoffs start.
If you consider that all of the players are available and healthy, the Lakers have a better roster than the Bucks. And you mentioned the Nets at number 1. You remember, I'm old enough to remember, the Nets and the Bucks went to overtime in Game 7, and Kyrie wasn't even on the floor. The Lakers were one of the best teams in the Western Conference last year, regardless of record. They dealt with some injuries, and they added Russell Westbrook. They added a lot of other interesting pieces, too, like Malik Monk and Dwight Howard. They are going to dominate in the Western Conference, and they're also going to rest a lot. You know that LeBron James brought in Westbrook, so he said, you know what, I'll play about 70 games. I'll play about 70 games this year, and I'll give 12 just to Russ so he can score 30 and get the 15 assists and 15 rebounds. We know that's going to happen. Jalen Rose, would you, in your personal power rankings, put the Bucks ahead of the Lakers?
Yes, for the reasons I just told you. They play in the East. They are a younger group, which means they're going to value the regular season more. Their best player, Giannis, is extremely durable and dominant. He's only going to get better. You saw him making free throws, okay? That's just going to add to his arsenal. And so, yes, the power rankings got it right on that one. And you know what else I can't wait to see? A full season of the Nets. We only saw them less than 20 games last year. And you mentioned KD, the offseason salutatorian, the way he played in the playoffs, and then the way he played in the Olympics. But a healthy Kyrie and obviously James Harden starting the season in shape, that's going to be a marvel to watch.
Absolutely. It does feel like we are on a collision course like we were with the Cavs and the Warriors years between the Nets and the Lakers, and what a finals that would be. But there's a lot of basketball to play before we get there. Jalen, I called them my Lakers, even though I'm not really a Laker fan. But I am a die-easy Bills fan, and there is some Bills news. Roger Goodell said that he is focused on keeping the Bills in Buffalo, one of the smaller cities to have an NFL team. And he said that it's been going on for decades. They need a new stadium so they can stay there for decades going forward. Jalen Rose, will they get this done and keep the Bills in Buffalo?
90 East to 94. Shout to the Detroit Buffalo connection. My guy, Bo Jack. Let me just tell you something, dog. How would you feel if your die-easy Buffalo Bills left? Those fans that's been jumping on tables. What do you think Conway and Benny and West Side Gunner feel about this? I don't have nothing else to say. What do you think?
There is absolutely no chance that the Bills leave Buffalo. I have been to Buffalo. It is not a large city. What they have is the Bills and chicken wings, and that's pretty much it. So you can't take the Bills and you can't take the wings. Big shout to Buffalo, shout to Griselda, and shout to Roger Goodell being focused on keeping the Bills in Buffalo. Jalen Rose, going to turn our attention to the Bronx. The Yankees have now won 10 straight games. They are 27-9 since the All-Star break. Jalen, is this team that started slow finally coming together and looking to dominate the American League?
They represent the Bronx, but they are the New Yorkers. You know, life in sports, to me, I can't lie, is better when the Yankees are playing good. Because they're the villain. 27 pennants. They got the astronomical salaries of each of the players, like the star power that they perform with. And so it's great to see them win 10 straight, because earlier in the year, I remember coming on this program after they got swept by the Tigers. So they really turned it around.
They really have. And as much as I don't like the Yankees because I grew up in Massachusetts, it is better when the Yankees are good. It is better when the Lakers are good. It's better when the Cowboys are good. We want to see these big franchises be successful. That rising tide floats all of the boats, and it certainly looks like the Yankees are priming themselves for a playoff run in the American League. Just imagine like a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. That would be so much fun.
We have to go to that. We have to go to that for sure.
Lakers. You keep talking about all these events that you're going to, but you haven't gone to any of them. You haven't gone to any of them.
Let me tell you something. Dodger dogs. Okay, we going. We got to go to Yankee Stadium.
Jalen,
Let's do it.
We have some news about hot dogs that might get you off those Dodger dogs. The University of Michigan did a study, and they've got some very concerning results of this study about hot dogs. We'll tell you what that is right after this. You don't want to miss this important health announcement from Jalen.